What's up, beautiful people? Welcome to your solar eclipse. This is going to change your life kind of shit. Energy report. So this solar eclipse is going to be probably the most powerful astrological aspect we experience in our lives. And I do not say that lightly. With this month of December 2020, we are in a period or going through like a wormhole almost. It's like a tunnel of energy that is shifting from one level to another, literally. So we are really moving through a time, like from one age to another. And we all know this. We can all see what's going on in the world, right? And this is significant. We're seeing the divide right now in the world between those who are drinking the Kool-Aid, so to speak, and those who are connecting with their higher self. Essentially, it's the separation of love and fear. And we've been talking about this all year, okay? But when you really see it, it becomes visceral, right? It becomes like, wow, this shit is legit. I mean, you know, like scored on the point for astrology. It's no joke. So as we're on the precipice of this Jupiter-Saturn conjunction, it's going to be happening just in a few days after this eclipse. This is, we are in a portal now, opening up to this new world that we're stepping into. Now, Sagittarius, Sagittarius, you guys, you, 23 degrees, okay? This is the third of three new moons at 23 degrees from eclipse. And we're finishing off so we're actually finishing off multiple threes, right? We have the third Jupiter-Pluto conjunction that just happened a couple weeks ago. We are finishing off, it's almost exact, actually right now, the third of three Mars and Pluto conjunctions, right? Conjunctions, squares, I'm sorry. And now we're having this third of three new moons at 23 degrees, and 2 + 3 is 5, right? Numerologically, that represents change. There are so many levels to this. This is so intense and so interesting. This bringing in, new moons or solar eclipses bring in new energy. Now, with this being conjunct to the South Node, this is about letting go of the old, being aware of your own bullshit. This is about bringing in sort of like gifts, like, right? Like, so for all the hard work that you all have done, right? It's like, okay, this is the gift of clarity, of vision, of understanding of where we're going next, of what we're going to do. So, but the fascinating thing is about this transit, right, is that it's not just this eclipse that's happening. That's why it's so freaking intense. So we're coming from, we're coming off of the lunar eclipse in Gemini, which was super potent. I'm sure you guys felt it. And after all the last 18-month cycle of the Capricorn and Cancer transit really shook us up. This year has been intense. Now, so I don't want to say good or bad, because I will say it's been transformative. Good or bad is what we subjectively put onto it ourselves, right? But I'll tell you right now, like, this has been one of the best years of my life as far as growth, understanding, even financially. So we have to look, it's really all about perspective. We have to look, right, at this process, this whole great awakening, the great reset, whatever you want to call it. All right. In fact, I think that those are two words for kind of the same thing that is going on. All this stuff has been brought up by Pluto and Saturn, and now all the stuff has been released and exposed and brought up, and now that it's brought up, it's time to clear the slate of that denser vibration, because we have raised our vibration. It may not seem like quite yet, because there's so much chaos and craziness and unknown and stuff going on in the world. Neptune is still square the nodes, so there's still a lot of confusion and a lot of illusion and delusion and lies, and nobody knows who to trust, and everything is there's no really solid reality right now, to be honest, right? Because we are in this very deep layered sort of energetic playground, if you will. And individually, we are all able to choose which direction we want to go. There are so many timelines that are just bouncing all over the place, right? And it is true, we have a choice. Everyone has a choice. There's a lot of manipulation of the psyche trying to convince people that we do not have a choice. And that is that Neptune square the nose. So you have to be careful of that, okay? The more connected you are to your heart, the more you're going to feel like you do have a choice. And this is where that Saturn-Jupiter conjunction comes into play, okay? And really, during this eclipse, the Saturn is at 29 degrees, 44 minutes. Jupiter is at 28 degrees and 56 minutes. So it's literally less than a degree away. Okay, I'm gonna bring up the chart now and show you. Okay, so with that being said, basically we're already experiencing this this conjunction. Not to mention that Chiron is practically stationed today because it goes direct late tomorrow. Okay, so we have the Chiron energy that is layered, making us feel incredibly vulnerable about understanding, who am I? Feeling so confused and lost in this place of, I don't know what the fuck is going on, right? Jupiter Saturn is taking that confusion and saying, okay, well, here's all your options. Here's all the newness. Here's what can be. And it's information overload. It's expansion overload. So there's nothing really that the conscious mind can do but be in stillness, because this shift is happening so quickly, right, that our ego doesn't have time to catch up to it. That's why these ascension symptoms are so intense. So if you're experiencing things like ringing in the ears, body aches and pains, like big time, right? If you're experiencing like extreme thirst, food cravings, or like cravings to be around certain people or away from certain people, all these different things are ascension symptoms that are driving you to guide you in the place you need to be. You need to allow these things to you need to lube it up a little bit. You need to allow them to like flow naturally, because if you try to control it or figure it out, that's when it's going to cause problems. Because what's this doing? It's activating our DNA, right? And as activating our DNA, it's activating these extra gamma brain waves. And I was talking about this in my live for this week. These additional gamma brain waves are coming online, so to speak, in our brain, and those are activating more like supernatural kind of activities in our extrasensory perception. So we're seeing a lot of like, you know, alien activity, you know, all over the place, all these weird things with the monoliths, and you know, videos and pictures of like UFOs in the sky, and all this unexplained stuff that people 10, 20 years ago would have, you know, laughed at people sitting there with a tin hat, you know, and, you know, sitting around thinking they're kooks or fluffs. Well, it's not so kooky anymore, is it? It's just legit. It's real. And this is where we're coming to realize that, whoa, hey, we ain't alone here no more. And we are coming into a whole new world, but it's going to be, a lot of things are going to be uncovered and exposed that we didn't realize existed. So this is where being open-minded and understanding about realizing that we don't know shit is really important, because really the more you know, the more you realize you don't know, right? And this confusion is going to keep going along for probably until actually right around like election, January 21st timeframe. That date just popped into my head, which ironically is right around the time that Mars conjuncts Uranus in Taurus. And that's right when the inauguration happens, I believe. So that's going to be interesting for sure, but we'll talk about that down the road, because we got to still deal with this right here. We're not there yet. So change is on the horizon. Now that our new divine masculine is coming back online to its fullest fruition, we have Mars at 20 degrees of Aries, 43 minutes, squaring over to Pluto. Now, it's not exact yet. It still has a few days before it's going to be exact. However, you bet your ass we're going to be feeling this during this eclipse, okay? But it's also trine over to the new moon, which is huge. So with Mars trining the new moon, that is saying that our divine masculine, we're ready to step into our new life. We're ready to go, right? Mars is also sextile to the North Node, right? Letting go of the shit that no longer serves. It's happening, it's going, okay? Just with that vulnerability, you have to be willing to go into the vulnerability to let it go. So this is all about the control dynamic, okay? And also, what I also spoke about in my live for this week was the dynamic of power versus strength. Okay, this is very, very big because within ourselves and within the world, we're seeing this dynamic play out. And we have to ask ourselves, what is our relationship to power and what is our relationship to strength? Pluto represents power. And Pluto, of course, being at the 23 degree, this is where all these major conjunctions throughout the year have happened. So with this square, this is just pounding more of this energy about, okay, dude, like I get it. Like, let's just purge it and move on, right? But what is your power dynamic? How do you give your power away, or do you, right? Are you in a lack mentality? Do you give your power away? Do you allow your power to be received? Okay. Are you in an abundant level of power where you are in a state of humble empowerment to help humanity? You know, the Age of Aquarius is all about, you know, the philanthropists, right? Like humanitarianism, right? Well, the high vibration of Aquarius is the humanitarian. The low vibration is disconnection. So Mars represents strength. Mars is the god of war, right? It's about going forward. It's about making shit happen. So with this square, this is a third and final square that's, you know, right around with this eclipse. Man, this is so deep. So this is all about, how do you give your power away? Where do you give your power away, and why? And it's showing up right in front of your face. This is what you're doing to hold yourself back. What are you going to do about it? And you're going to look directly at your soul and say, fuck you, I'm going back to sleep. Or you're going to look directly at your soul and say, I love you. Let's have a hug. Let's have a hugging contest, right? Let's evolve. Let's face it. Let's go together. And of course, Mercury is also at 20 degrees of Sagittarius, which means that our communication, like, okay, Mercury in, that's crazy. Actually, my Mercury is at 19 degrees of Sagittarius. So it's just right on top of my natal Mercury and Neptune. How exciting. And we can't forget that, you know, with that Neptune square the nodes, whoo, on top of all this, man, so deep. So because technically Neptune is in close enough orb to the new moon that it is square this solar eclipse. So with that added confusion, okay, and the power control dynamic, this is all about like pushing the boundaries of your consciousness and learning to see where your threshold is really in your reality. I mean, you could feel like you're in like a permanent acid trip and hating life, or you could be in a permanent acid trip and loving life. It depends on your perspective. If you're trying to force things, you're trying to create what's not supposed to be created with the divine order of things, then you're in a shitty place, guys. But if you are allowing things to flow and being kind to yourself when you need a break, like, you have to honor your body and your mind right now. Let it do what it's going to do, because it's literally going through the vision that just came to my mind is, if you ever seen Captain America, when he goes in like the pod, when he gets injected with all that shit, when he's a little small skinny guy, then he comes out the big, you know, the first Avenger, right? He goes, and they're like, wait, no, stop. And then he's like, no, keep going. That's the attitude we need to have. That's Mars square Pluto. Bam, let's go, make it happen. We have to be willing to face that pain, essentially. Okay, it's a purification process. And, you know, Sagittarius is like, let's get out there, let's go. It's also about beliefs, like strong beliefs. The shadow side of Sagittarius is like, I believe this, you're wrong, fuck you, go find something else, right? Like, I'm right, you're wrong. And we're seeing that everywhere in the world right now. So this is bringing to the surface, really purging out all of this, I'm right, you're wrong, fuck you, fuck me, fuck this, and and bringing together the awareness of people being like that. And hey, this shit don't work, guys. We need to connect. We need to get along. The way that humanity survives, the way that we thrive, is by connecting, uniting, right? Gemini, community, voicing our opinions, bringing back debates. Whatever happened to debates? Now it's all about identity politics, where you say something because your belief system and, you know, you deserve to be shot or killed is fucking crazy. No, I don't think so. All right. This is about the people coming from the heart space, standing up and really stepping into that power and showing the world, hey, this is how it needs to be done. And we're seeing that here and there. I believe this is going to jack it right up and make it real in a very, very big way. Next year is going to be a very revolutionary year. Very, very much so. So we also have Venus at 28 degrees of Scorpio conjunct white moon Selena at 29 degrees of Scorpio. Now, these are the anorectic degrees. These are where we're feeling the, you know, the real full throttle power of Venus. And with that, Scorpio. So with that, the Venus and Scorpio vibe is getting also an extra hit. And it's also, this is sextile to Jupiter and Saturn. Wow. Are you kidding me? And trine to Chiron. Holy shit, guys. We are getting a massive upgrade and up level in our divine feminine and our divine masculine, both of them. We're being wrung out like a freaking, you know, like a sweaty towel. This is so intense. It's pulling us, pulling our consciousness in all these different directions. And it's making us look at ourselves in such a deep way and say, hey, this is what you really want. Are you willing to do what it takes to go get it? Stop forcing, start flowing. Okay? Now, real quick, I want to read the inside degrees, because I always really respect and admire what this has to say, because it's always so fascinatingly relevant. It says, a woman wearing many tiny bells. Methodology, technique, the how of things, immersing yourself in the field of new ideas, fresh approaches, and innovative paths, imaginatively and energetically, exposing yourself to possibilities, visions, ways to evolve. The body's wisdom, musically in touch and in tune, sensing the resonance of cellular awakening, eager and enthusiastic and bright. You have given over to the process, always in midstream, seizing upon opportunities, challenges, openings, needing to know just how it feels at the micro level, what it is like to be free, to be joyous, to be unrestricted here in the body, in the world. You seek the full-on motivating spark of knowing what it feels like to be tuned out and discovering what it really means to be tuned in all the way. So as you can see, there's a lot of contradiction in this description, which is exactly what I mean. The push and pull in all these polarized directions, it's stretching us out, it's opening us up, it's creating this threshold. If you picture your energy as a bubble, right? Our bubble is being yanked all these different directions, just pulled apart. As it's pulled apart, it's opening it up, it's activating our DNA, it's making us feel things that we didn't want to feel, it's making us purge things that we didn't even know was there, it's making us see things and feel things that, like, oh my God, what is going on? And that feeling, if you're not used to it, can be terrifying. However, because there are so many people like you and I that are light workers and empaths and, the star seeds that have been waking up, this is all why we're here, guys. This is all why we've experienced all this shit in our life. It's almost like, okay, now you normal people get it. But what is normal anyways, right? But the point is that now it's our responsibility to humanity to help those other people see what they have never seen, what they have never understood. And this is a good thing. We have to do it from a place of love, right? If we don't do it from a place of love, then we're just repeating the same bullshit pattern that was brought onto us by our predecessors, which didn't know any better. But because we know better, this is a power versus strength dynamic, okay? We must rise above that, be the bigger person, and show up with love, saying, hey, I'm sorry you're feeling this, or like, let me help you out, or being kind. Because kindness is what is going to save this world. Now, I'm not saying that people are staring, down the barrel of a gun at each other to go in the middle and be like, hey, whoa, hey, peace be with you, right? No, because they're probably going to shoot you. Let them shoot each other and let divine orchestration take care of what it's going to take care of. Don't try to force anything, okay? You got to be really realistic, all right? This is where people's belief systems are solidified right now. So if they believe that they want to get and if they believe that, the MSM media, if they believe that whole bullshit, then let them go on their merry way and do that thing. And when they get sick or when, their life is miserable and they're just living in fear, and then, okay, when you're ready to want to discover yourself, you come see me. Meanwhile, I'm going to be over here loving myself and working on my own shit and stepping into my own vulnerability. It's all about that vulnerability, because vulnerability is power, right? And when you step into that vulnerability, it's game over. Once you accept yourself and nothing outside of you can trigger you, then you're unfuckwithable, okay? So stand in that power, believe in yourself, and remember that how freaking powerful you really are. Do not conform, and do not let other people tell you who you are. It is time to really tell yourself who you are in very great detail, in the most authentic fashion possible. And as you tell yourself this, and as you step into that, and as you own that shit, that is when you magnetize, because we are electromagnetic beings, right? Thoughts are electric, feelings are magnetic. We magnetize the people and the situations and the things into our life that we need from that higher vibration of abundance. Bring it in, and we live a life of much deeper inner peace and abundance. And abundance isn't just money, guys. Abundance is love. Abundance is, happy family. Abundance is just loving what you do for a living. Abundance is being able to do what you do what you want to do when you want to do it. And that can come in many fashions. Many different people have many different things that they want to do, right? If you're doing what you love for a living and you're not slaving away, that's a good life. And that's where we're headed. That's what the fifth dimension is all about. That's where we're going, okay? And there's many, many shifts and transitions and changes going on in every industry in the world. Myself, of course, you guys know, I'm very plugged into the health and the wellness and fitness worlds. And, alternative medicine is really primary medicine. And that is more and more people are starting to understand that. And that is starting to take the forefront of the world. And people are starting to really wake up and see, oh, shit. Like so many people say they can't trust their doctor anymore. I wonder why. Because it belongs to a broken fucking system. So we are the ones that are fixing the systems. We are the ones that are fixing the communities. We are the ones that are setting the example. So you must stand in your power with strength. So just to reiterate power and strength thing, because I feel that's very, very important here, right? Power is when we impose our will on others. Strength is when others impose their will on us and how we allow ourselves to be swayed by that. So when you are in your power, are you standing in your power in a loving way? And are you strong enough to be able to love yourself? Are you strong enough to be able to love yourself and stand in your power in a loving way? That's the question you need to ask yourself. And this goes deep, guys. You have to look at yourself. You have to face it. And while you're looking at yourself and while you're facing it, let yourself cry, let yourself shake, let yourself, I don't know, go spend 2 days alone in a log cabin in the woods somewhere. Do whatever it is that you need to do to face yourself. You do that. And then, reach out to the people that you know and love and trust and care about. Okay? Because isolation can be a dangerous thing right now. But also, sometimes we need that isolation. So if you're in a good place and you need the isolation, go to it. This is all perception and perspective. Whatever it is that you need to heal you, to do that inner work, take that time and trust the process. I promise you, when you face this darkness within yourself, there is a light on the other side. Okay? So thank you guys so much for tuning in, for watching. This is going to be such a powerful, transformative week. And don't forget, this 40% discount is still going on until the 21st of December. That's coming up quickly. So jump on that shit now. Get a reading. Okay? Anything else? And also check out the Opportunity Community. Want to level up? Connect with like-minded people. Let's make it happen. Shout out to my Opportunity Community. Love you guys. Thank you very much. And other than that, I will see all you beautiful people on the next report. Have a beautiful day. Aho!